Hello everyone, my name is Webweaver, and welcome back to alt-tabbing out of the video to make sure that I am A, recording, and B, have my microphone on. Today's going to be a very interesting episode because I'm not going to pay attention to the game at all. I have something to talk about here. So, I was hanging out with the family members that I'm staying with, and we were in the living room, and they had taped this made-for-TV movie called Stalked by My Mother. And we decided to watch it against our better judgment. It was incredible. So this is gonna be a disjointed nonsense rambling about a movie, and this is what we're gonna call a review episode. All right, so we're just gonna play somebody I don't have to think. No thinky. No gameplay thinky. I'm just gonna rip and tear until it is done. All right. Okay, so, listen, I have so many thoughts about this stupid movie. Oh, man. Okay, so first of all, you know, we gotta put our boy on blast. I looked it up because I wanted to make sure that I was talking about the right movie. So I looked it up on IMDb and I found it out. It's called Stalked. Well, I have it pulled up here. It's called Stalked by My Mother, and it was directed and written by our boy, friend of the show. That's not true. It's just fluff. Doug Campbell. Campbell? I don't know how to say that name. Campbell? I genuinely don't. I'm awful with names. So here's the thing. It was an entertaining movie. And so I disagree with the IMDb rating of 5.1 stars. Because here's the thing, right? 5.1 is average. And the thing was, this wasn't an average movie. This was a very entertaining movie. Now, it's a serious thriller, so maybe entertaining isn't what you're going for, but it was fun to watch. And that is something that I can say that like 90% of movies probably don't do very right. Because to be honest with you, I don't really watch movies. The last movie that I watched up until this point was Promare, or at least that's the last movie that I saw in theaters, and yeah, that was actually the last movie that I saw. I wanted to see the Saga of Tanya the Evil movie, but I didn't. I didn't go to see that in theaters. I also wanted to see the Konosuba movie, but I didn't go to see that in theaters either. But yeah, so, you know, first of all, you know, like, just give our boy credit where it's due, right? Like, it's an thank God. It's an entertaining movie, right? And I wouldn't put it on, like, Sharknado tier, because Sharknado is poorly made, right? And so it would be disrespectful to Stalked by My Mother to compare it to something like Sharknado, because the thing about Stalked by My Mother that's entertaining is the fact at how nonsensical the movie is and how insane it is, right? Like, I like writers who just make this insane plot that, like, you know, it doesn't really, listen, it doesn't really make sense, okay? Because here's the thing, you might think from the title, Stalked by My Mother, that the bad guy of the film is the mom, and the good guy is the kid. Now, you'd be wrong. You'd be very wrong. The bad guy of the movie is someone we'll talk about in a bit, but the good guy of the movie, the protagonist, the hero, the morally justified character, is the mom. Now, you might be immediately thinking, oh, so it's sort of like, is misnomer the right word? It's sort of like it's bait, basically, right? Like, you look at a movie where it says the mother is a stalker, and then it's like the mother is actually the hero, and that what she's doing is necessary to, like, save the day. That's not the case. The mother is an actual stalker, and she's actually kind of a psychopath. Right? Like, she doesn't let her daughter have her own life, and she's, like, constantly getting involved with everything, and she's, like, she's an awful person, all right? I watched the movie. She's a terrible human being. And listen, that's rough, all right? That's rude to say. But it's true. The mother is a horrible character, and throughout the entire movie, she never faces any sort of, she basically just never faces any consequence for any of her actions. So the movie starts off with a flashback. The mom brings her daughter to the library, and then gets the librarian's attention, leaves her daughter at the front desk alone, and then she goes to the middle back section of the library, and it's a big library, so she has to walk for a bit, and so she leaves her kid alone in the library, just her toddler kid just standing on their own, just completely alone. She just leaves the kid there, and you're just looking at the screen and you're like, are you stupid, or are you right? And so she gets the book that she wants, and then she chats with the librarian. She chats with the librarian for a little bit, and then she goes to peek around the corner, all the way at the other end of the library, and she doesn't see her daughter there anymore. So she runs through the library screaming her daughter's name, which, that's understandable, absolutely. And she rounds a bunch of corners, she's running all through. It's like this weird flashback sequence, so you just see her running through a bunch of library aisles, and it's difficult to tell, exactly, where she is in relation to, where everybody else is. But she's basically just running through the aisles in the library, screaming her daughter's name, which is understandable, right? That's totally realistic and totally understandable. And then she sees this man holding her daughter's hand, and so then you know exactly what happens next. She starts screaming, a big scene is made, the cops are called, all that stuff, right? And that is, from there's two different flashbacks, all right? There's the flashback that the mom remembers, and then there's what actually happened, which they show at the end of the movie, or halfway through the movie when they reveal the villain. But basically, in the mom's flashback, she's heroically saving her daughter from the evil man who was trying to, kidnap her, whatever. And it's pretty convincing, right? And that's what you go with for, the first half of the movie, until you see the other flashback. And we'll just get into the other flashback right now. The other flashback was, the guy's a dad. He went to the library with his daughter, and this little girl is just kind of alone completely. And so he's like, hey, we're gonna help this girl out. We're gonna find her parents. And so what's also is the dad is also a teacher. And so the dad gets fired, and then the dad ends up dying, and then the dad's wife goes insane. And so the villain of the show, or the TV movie, is the little girl whose dad's life was ruined by the stalker mom. But anyways, ever since that flashback sequence, the mom, basically, she will never leave her kid alone, ever. And so her kid can't do anything, right? Her kid literally can do nothing without the mom, just looking over her shoulder. If the kid walks around the corner, right, the mom will, peek around the corner, wait for the daughter to move out of sight, and then run, to go catch up to her, right? And so it's so creepy to watch, and the mom is always, presented in the right, and all the characters agree with her, except for her daughter, who's like, Mom, let me live my life, damn. But anyway, so the daughter makes a friend with the villain, who is a couple years older than her. And the villain is hosting this party, and she invites the daughter to it. Daughter goes to the party. Villain introduces the daughter to a boy. Boy's a little bit older. Mom crashes the party. Doesn't cause she does cause a huge scene, but not in the library. And so she basically, she's like, stay away from my daughter. And so then she drags her daughter out of the party. Super embarrassing. And then she goes to the guy's house later that night, and then just says, if you go near my daughter, well, you know, she's basically just like, don't go near my daughter. And the guy's like, all right, I get it. And then the next day, the guy's dead, right? Like, so all that happened was that this guy breathed in the direction of this girl. And then, well, okay, that's not technically true, right? Because it was a party with teenagers. You know they've got some alcohol involved. But, and which is morally wrong, okay? I want to be perfectly clear. Like, we're not simping or sympathizing for the frat boy, okay? The frat boy's an asshole. But the thing is, he respects, like, the mom's wishes, right? So she's like, you know, you're a little bit older than her, so she should be hanging out with people who are more her age. And he's like, all right, that's fine. But yeah, so that he shows up dead. And here's the thing. The forensic evidence is found in the daughter's, like, car. So the daughter gets arrested for murder, and the daughter thinks that her mom killed the boyfriend. And that's what the movie wants you to believe until they reveal the villain, who is the little girl who saw her dad's life just, like, crash before her eyes as her entire life was ruined by the stalker mom. And so the villain's plan, and here's the thing that's crazy about the movie, right? And this is a little bit of a spoiler for, like, the kill count, the body count. Only one person dies, and that was the villain doing that. The villain was the one who killed the frat boy, right? But here's the thing that's kind of crazy, is that the mom, like, was constantly going against, like, the police told her, like, hey, the things that you're doing could interrupt our investigation or make it to where, like, the evidence that we find, even if it exonerates your daughter, she wouldn't be able to get out because you're tampering with evidence, you're tampering with, like, the investigative process, and so you're making it worse for your daughter, please stop. But she wouldn't listen, right? And so she wouldn't, yeah, we'll do this. I just have to think real quick here because this is a scary enemy. But, yeah, so the daughter's like, you know, the daughter thinks that her mom killed her, like, not even her boyfriend. Like, the IMDb page says that the guy is her boyfriend. Admittedly, I did step out for, like, 5 minutes, so there might have been a dating montage that I didn't see. But what I saw was these two met at a party, the mom barged in, dragged the kid out, and then the next thing I know, the guy's dead, right? So, admittedly, might have missed that. But at the same time, the guy was dead pretty quickly, right? So any, like, relationship or whatever they may have had was basically nothing. But yeah, so the villain kills the guy, right? And he's the only person who dies. Well, actually, oh no, there is someone. Okay, the villain kills 2 people, but one of them doesn't really count. Oh no, that's a horrible thing to say. We'll get to that in a bit, but, like, okay, so the mom, she breaks the rules constantly. She, like, interrogates witnesses to the crime, which the police are like, hey, please don't do that. And then, oh, hello there. Thank you, memory extract, very cool. We're probably gonna void, like, we might void, actually, if we get into another weird situation. Because we could, okay, never mind, we're fine. We should be anyways. But yeah, so, oh no. This is stamina though, so we'll take it. Actually, maybe we shouldn't have, maybe we should have just taken the injury. You know, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. We're gonna get out of here right now. This is the last event we gotta go through. This is the last event that we gotta go through. This is the last event that we have to go through. Don't worry about it. The Bark Woman doesn't exist. Back to the movie. So the villain, she kills 2 people actually. But the thing is, like, I was rooting for the villain the whole time, right? Because her motivation makes sense, right? Like, her family fell apart because the crazy stalker woman was doing crazy things. I mean, admittedly, like, in the moment, it's fine. And completely, like, her motivation, we're gonna die here, that's fine. Like, her motivation is completely understandable in the moment, but once you see that the guy's there with his daughter, and that he is a teacher, and that he's, like, a good guy, you know, like, he's there with his daughter at the library, at that point, you know, you just have to, like, you could be still suspicious, but I think you could cool the brakes a little bit, you know, just a mere thought, just a mere thought, but, like, you know, so the villain's motivation makes perfect sense, but the mom's motivation doesn't really make sense, right? Like, she's stalking her daughter, she's breaking the law, and she almost kills the villain, right? Like, that was something that I was very, like, she dead ass almost kills the villain. Like, the villain breaks into her house and they get into a little fist fight, and then she ties the villain up and then almost lets her get exploded by a bomb, which, yeah, the movie kind of hits different, doesn't it? You weren't expecting a bomb to come into this. You were not expecting a bomb to come into this at all. But you see, the villain made a bomb so that she could blow up the wife. Is great, dude. It's fantastic. I love it. You can rent it for like $3. It's great. You should rent it for $3. It's fantastic. But yeah, no, it's so, like, it's so weird because like, there is a disconnect between the, like, at least for me, like, I was rooting for the girl, right? Because from her like, the villain girl, because from her perspective, right, like, her family fell apart. They, you know, they lost all their money because the dad was the, you know, the teacher or whatever. Her mom went crazy. Her dad died with words that I cannot say lest YouTube send me another threatening email. Well, it wasn't a threatening email. It was a concerned email. But any email from YouTube is threatening. It's just standing there in the inbox menacingly. But yeah, so the dad dies. The mom goes crazy. Her life sucks now. And so she plots her revenge, and she doesn't even, like, the only person she wants to kill is the mom, like, the stalker mom, and the stalker mom is a big creep, right? Like, and she learns nothing, by the way, at the end of the movie. The end of the movie is her stalking her daughter, which is presented in a very cute, haha, funny way, but it's actually incredibly creepy because we'll get to that in a second. I know I'm saying that a lot. But you do kind of have to balance, like, playing the video game and also, like, keeping the conversation going in a coherent manner. So I do hope you can forgive me for that. That's, I got this watching. Okay. Let's get the compass again, please. First try. Thank you very much. I didn't even check the lighthouse. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. We'll win. We'll win this time, I swear. But yeah, no, it's a weird movie. All right, and you know we've been jumping through the spoilers. I'm sorry for spoiling. I'm sorry for not giving a spoiler warning for the 2016 film Stalked by My Mother. I do apologize for that. I'll put a spoiler warning in the description, the top of the description, so you can at least see it before you watch the episode. But yeah, no, it's like, so the mom is a stalking creep who's constantly, like, and here's the best part, right? So the other character who dies, when the daughter gets arrested, she uses the last of her money so that she can hire a cheap private investigator. She uses $300 and buys him for 2 days. Yes, it's that amazing. It really do just be that way, right? Oh, thank God for that. Thank God for that. Okay, Gigolo first enemy. So the daughter hires a private investigator, and the private investigator is also kind of a scumbag because, well, he breaks, like, he do actually just be breaking and entering into people's houses, like picking the locks, like opening the windows, Okay, Burning Man's the second lad, if we get that question. But yeah, so he's like breaking into people's houses, and so he breaks into the house of the villain. I don't actually remember why, to be honest. Which, you know, that makes me a bad movie reviewer. But he breaks into the house of the villain girl, and she comes back, and then she smells his cologne, because he has awful and very, like, pungent cologne. But we'll go ahead and keep a broken bottle. It might save our life. And I'm also kind of worried about our reason, because that wasn't what actually killed us, though. It was the stamina, but it's still important to think about. What spell did we get? A Thutu Flame? Confront the man, hide in the crowd. I mean, confront the man's the best bet. To be real with you, we're going down to one reason. It absolutely does suck, but we should be able to recover decently. Well, sorry, Kana, I need to get a drink. I'm not hydrated right now. And you know what they say, stay hydrated, drink water. But yeah, so the private investigator breaks into the villain girl's house. Villain girl comes back, smells the cologne, grabs her gun. Guy jumps out the window, barely escaping. But then later, right? This is the tactical genius of the villain girl. She pretends to want to help in the investigation for the mother, right? Like, she pretends to want to help the mother so that she can, like, prove that the girl who's in jail wasn't the one who did it. And so the mother, like, goes with it. And so the two of them are working together, but obviously you're working with the killer. That was Fetid Fumes, right? Pain. Do we have to remember Burning Man, do we? Do we have to remember Burning Man? No, we don't. We have to remember whatever we click on next, though, as far as second mystery is concerned. So they're working together on the case, and so they agree to interrogate the roommate of the guy who was murdered. And so now anyone in their right mind would probably see how that's a bad idea. They do it anyways, and by they, I mean the mom, because the whole strategy was to get the mom out of the house so that the villain girl, she can break into the house and then hold the dad at gunpoint and get all of the dad's money. And then I think, like, I don't know if this was planned or not, like if she was gonna shoot the dad, or if she was gonna yeet the dad or not. If she was gonna prepare, if she was gonna prep shoot. I don't know. I don't know if she was gonna prep shoot or not, but she did shoot, and she did shoot the dad. But the reason why she shot the dad is because the lad, the private investigator, broke into the mom/dad's house and then held the villain at gunpoint. But he was trying to, so the villain was trying to rob the dad, and then the private investigator comes in, and then he's trying to rob the villain. And so it's like that meme image of the people in the church where there's like one person holding a gun up to somebody's head, and then there's somebody behind them holding a gun up to their head. It was hilarious. But anyway, so that's what they do. But here's the thing, the girl doesn't want to do that. So the girl just, like, this is incredible, right, by the way. The girl, the villain, she just shoots the dad, and then she turns around, she gets shot in the arm, and then she shoots the private investigator dead. And then she frames the dad for the murder. And then the dad's in, like, she thinks the dad is dead, but the dad actually isn't. The dad survived being yeeted. And she... We're gonna have to walk here. She basically, like, she tries to yeet the dad, she fails. The mother comes home early because obviously the roommate of the person that your daughter allegedly killed probably won't want to talk to you. You know, yeah. So she comes home, and then the evil girl, she has to bail. And what's absolutely incredible incredible is that, so the mom comes home where her husband is like in critical condition and there's just a dead guy in her living room. She comes home and she walks, oh my god. Well, I mean, we have fetid fumes, right? Like, what do you want? Like, what do you want me to do, my friends? Like, we have fumes of the fetid variety. You want me to rest 1,000,000 times? I don't know. We gotta take the chance. We gotta roll the dice, as they were. But yeah, so it's absolutely just, so the mom comes home and she calls for her husband because she knows her husband is still home, and she doesn't get a response, and so she goes upstairs to relax. And then she gets a phone call from the villain, and she answers it, and the villain is like, oh hey, what's up, yeah, sorry, I had to take my mom to the ER so I couldn't make it. And she's like, oh, that's a shame. And so, you know, they're just talking on the phone. Well, there's just a dead guy in her living room, and I was just laughing my ass off. It was hilarious. And then she walks downstairs, and then she finds him, and she calls the ambulance. And then, what is it? She, like, after the hospital scene where the villain girl tries to, like, the villain girl finds out that the dad is still alive. And then, we rolled exactly an 8 there. If we had 1 threat level, we'd be doomed. But she basically, the villain lady finds out the dad's alive, and then she goes to assassinate the dad in the hospital. She fails because she was hesitating, and she was gonna hit the off button on the medical machine. And I was always under the assumption that if you hit the off button, it would start loudly beeping. And so I don't understand why she thought that was a good idea. But she didn't go through with it. She gets like caught in the room, and then she makes something up, and then she talks to a doctor, and she's like, "Doctor, I'm a longtime friend of the family. I've always known them. Could you please tell me about how the dad's doing?" And then, you know, the doctor's like, "Oh, well, you know, he's probably not gonna wake up." And so she's like, "Oh, whew, I don't have to kill him then." And so she walks home, and then she breaks into the mom's house and then plants a bomb, like a big one, like a very large bomb, like a very destructively large bomb, an absurdly boom bomb, if you will, from a bomb-on battlefield. And she basically gets into a fist fight with the mom. The mom ties her up and then almost leaves her for dead. And, you know, this is the movie magic thing where it's like, you know, 10 seconds is forever. Because what they do is they show, like, the mom, she's like on the floor, unconscious. There's 10 seconds remaining until the thing blows up. And then it's like, you know, they get to the, like, they get to, like, the 5-second mark, and then you don't see her anymore, and then it blows up, and then you're like, oh yeah, you didn't see her die, so she's definitely still alive. And so the villain girl gets arrested. The daughter of the stalker mom gets cleared of murder, and the husband lives as well. So yeah, because their house was blown up, they had to buy a new one, and they moved into a new neighborhood. The daughter was trying to make friends, and the mom's stalking her, because that's how it goes, boys. Yeah, it was incredible. It was amazing. I've never. I would love. All right, and this is like I'm being serious here, right? Like first of all, I enjoyed watching the movie. I think it was delightfully insane, and I'm actually curious to watch some of the director's other TV movies, because he's made a lot of them. Particularly, he has made, I think, either 3 or 4 movies called Stalked by My Doctor. So I'm, like, it's like Stalked by My Doctor. Hold on, do I have the IMDb page pulled up? Hold on, I accidentally opened Final Fantasy XIV. That's not good. I don't want my computer to burst into flames while I have the, whatchamacallit. Okay, so click on, yeah, I have the IMDb page for the movie pulled up, so I can just go in here and scroll down. Okay, so Stalked by My Doctor, Stalked by My Doctor, The Return, and then Stalked by My Doctor, Patience Revenge. Then there's a movie called The Stalker Club, and then there's a movie called Stalked by My Neighbor, and then there's a movie called Stalked at 17. There's a theme here. I think there's a theme. He hasn't made one recently. His most recent movie that came out was Pom Poms and Payback, Wheels of Beauty, and Garage Sale Killer. Well, actually, sorry, Wheels of Beauty and Garage Sale Killer are apparently in post-production. But the most recent movie that was released was Pom Poms and Payback, which, and I quote, a group of high school cheerleaders look for revenge after all being betrayed by their boyfriends. But then, they discover that their coach might be the one behind all of their misfortune. Cool. But yeah, here's the thing. I would genuinely, and this isn't a meme, this isn't like, you know, the movie was entertaining to watch. I think it would be fun to interview. Well, not necessarily interview. I just want to talk to the director, right? Because his movie, Stalked by My Mother, that was delightfully insane, right? Like, it was just, like, here's the thing. Stalking is bad. And so, here's the thing that really got me out, right? I haven't told you about this, but when the dad is revealed to be alive, okay? Or, not when the dad's revealed to be alive. When the dad gets out of the hospital after being shot, he can't stand, right? So he has to use crutches to get everywhere. Now, I don't know if you've ever used crutches before, but crutches are a pain in the ass, and you can't really do a lot with them. If you use them for long enough, you definitely can learn how to use them, for sure. But the thing is, they're a pain in the ass, and you have to get used to them before you can really be, like, self-sufficient. And even then, there are some things that you probably shouldn't do when you have... For some reason, I always call them stilts, but they're crutches. Anyways, that's not important. So the thing is, they're moving into this new house that, you know, apparently, like, I don't know if they've been there before or not, but they're moving into this new house. They drive up, they pull up, they, you know, get out of their car. The dad's on his crutches, and he's moving along into the house. The wife is going with him. The stalker mom is going with him, and they're basically just like, well, we're gonna get strength here. Yeah, that sounds about right. And so basically, you know, they're going along. They're going into the house. These two girls come up behind them. You know, their daughter's with them as well, because she got out of prison after the villain got caught. So yeah, we'll get a free spell. Why not? We got a very good free spell. If we need to, we might use it, because I don't know if I want to do another run or not. But yeah, you know, it's like you know, so they're walking into the house, and you know, the dad's on crutches. He can't move with his legs. He's got to use the crutches. He got two of them, and the mom's walking in with them. The daughter's walking in with them. These two, like, I don't know how old they were supposed to be or not, but you know, because they all use like adult actresses and whatnot to play the teenage characters. But these two ladies come up behind him, and they're like, "Hey, we're throwing a house party right now. We were wondering, you know, if the new neighbors wanted to join us." And they're specifically talking to the daughter of the stalker mom, right? And so the daughter really wants to go, but she doesn't. Like, this is the weird thing, right? Because the stalker mom was vindicated, like, she was the one who won at the end of the movie, the daughter is actually, like, fine with her mom being a control freak, being a very polite understatement. And so she looks over to her mom and asks, "Can I go?" And then the dad looks over to the mom, and it's one of these, like, cute little end of the movie moments, like, "Sorry we doubted you, Ma. You always did know best." And so, you know, they're basically just doing that. And, you know, the mom looks over and is like, "Yeah, of course you can go to the party. Have fun." Yeah, let's just do this, man. I don't care about 2 stamina. And yeah, so the girl, she walks off with her new friends, and they're like talking and they're chatting, and then you see, and then this is the moment in the movie where I'm like, okay, redemption time, all right, like redemption time. You see the stalker mom and her husband go into the house, and then it pans out to the daughter walking with her new friends and talking with them, right? But then, right as you think the credits are about to roll, it pans over to the door, and you see Stalker Mom stick her head out of the door. She walks down the driveway, looks over, peeks around the fence, sees her daughter, and it's like, oh, she's up to her old antics again. And, you know what she does? She starts stalking her daughter again. We did it, boys. We've done it. She's up to her old tricks again. But yeah, so that was a movie that I watched. And now I don't know what to talk about because I've been thinking about that all night. Ever since the movie ended, I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about that movie the entire night. Watched it earlier today. I've been thinking about it for like 6 hours now. It's incredible, really. I was being serious earlier. It would be fascinating to sit down and talk to the guy who directed that movie. I want to ask him, like, what were you thinking when you were writing it? What do you think of, like, the character? Like, I would go back to that IMDb page and I would look up those characters' names, and I would actually, like, I would grill him about, like, every scene in the movie. Not hostilely, right? Grill is the wrong word. I would just ask him about every choice that every character made because I'm curious, right? Like, I want to know. It's so... Like, that's why I say I would recommend watching the movie. It's just an experience, right? Like, it's just something to just look at and be like, huh, yeah, that's a little bit weird. But it's also entertaining, right? Because there's explosions and violence. So, yeah, that's kind of cool, right? Also, do we somehow have... How are we getting books, man? What are books? I don't like books, dude. Give me an option, I'll burn the book. I'll burn it every time, man. How are we level 5? How did that happen? I'm just paying attention to the run right now, honestly. How long has this video been going on for? 38 minutes? Jesus Christ. Punch. Oh no. Our dexterity. What will I ever do? I can't believe it, guys. Our dexterity is... Moriko's dexterity is gone. I guess there is actually something that I could talk about. I watched a Midsummer Murders, an old Summer Murders, and there was an episode that really struck me as odd, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I was hoping you could help me out. So basically, the episode was about this hotel manager who got murdered in Midsummer. He got murdered. He had a Midsummer murder. You know, he was a part of that. So he gets murdered. He gets yeeted, and the initial suspect, like they always do this in every episode, is they give you like the obvious suspect who didn't do it, and then you have to try to guess, like, out of the people who aren't suspicious, which one of them it is, right? So the prime suspect are these two people. Okay, one of them is this old guy with a shotgun, and he lives in the middle of the woods. And then the second suspect, the person who actually gets arrested in the episode, is his daughter, who walks around with a shotgun, hunting in the woods alone. I can't quite put my finger on it. You know, it's a double-barrel shotgun. She's walking around in the woods alone. I can't quite. We'll never know, honestly. I have no idea why it stuck out to me. I really don't, to be honest with you. I don't know. Maybe one of you can figure it out. I don't know. It was a good episode, though. It was actually one of the first episodes I've watched in a while where there were multiple people who were the villain, right? Like, pretty much all of the main characters who weren't the hunter's daughter and the hunter, and then, like, the people who were killed, they were pretty much all in on it. Like, all of the main characters were all in on the murders. Like, pretty much anybody who didn't die was one of the killers, and I thought that was very interesting. And no, we're not going to take a luck check for coughing blood because I don't care. But yeah, no, it was a good episode. Like, Midsummer Murders, like, at first, I liked New Summer Murders, right? You know, I liked that because it's what I first started watching, and it is nice, it's good. But I also, I do like some of the older episodes now. The episode with the ghost, absolutely incredible. The fact that the paranormal exists in Midsummer, absolute banger. A crazy, mind-blowing revelation, but, you know, it's like, yeah, sure, why not? We got, you know, if you have unlimited stamina, which equates to, apparently, like, stamina equates to blood, because you lose stamina when you give blood. If you had something like flesh regrowth in real life, and it was completely broken like that, right? Where it infinitely healed you with no downsides whatsoever, you just give all the blood in the world. No one would ever need blood ever again. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, anyways, so regrowing flesh equates to making blood appear out of thin air, but, you know, from game logic it does. Can I get the bath back? Like, could you pay like 4 funds to hire a plumber to come out and fix that? Like, it seems like something that if it happened to your house in real life, you wouldn't let it stand for more than a day, to be honest with you. You'd have the appointment, like, you'd have the appointment out tomorrow. Right, you'd get that, you'd get the plumber out there and he'd be in there. Or maybe you'd be a plumber yourself and you just fix it. That would be amazing. There's just a character, like a character gets added who is just, he can fix it. Oh god, a mechanical character, a mechanic/plumber character who starts with a wrench. Oh no. Or maybe, you know, if he can fix it, his name would be Bob, and he would build things, but that's a little scandalous, honestly. I don't know if the world's ready for that one yet. But other than that, I'm actually kind of lost. Because, you know, we watched that, we just watched that movie today, that was it. We watched that movie today and it was like, huh, yeah, that was a thing. And it left me with so many questions because, like, all of the characters had such bizarre actions. It really was just crazy. You know what I mean? Like, maybe that's rude, right? Like maybe that's rude to say, but the characters were weird, man. The characters were insane. And I still can't believe that, like, the show, like, the TV movie played off the mother being a psycho stalker who has a history of ruining people's lives over misunderstandings, basically. That, like, she was the good guy and justified at every point in the movie. Like, it's crazy, right? Like, it's so... I mean, here's the thing. I'm not expecting this, like, philosophical debate about, you know, anything, really, in a movie that I randomly record or randomly decide to watch on the as it's locally known, the telly. I'm not really expecting, like, a lot. Folklore studies, do we need this? No, we don't. We don't need any of these things. They're all garbage or locally rubbish. I mean, ammo stash, sure. Like, I mean, it doesn't really mean anything, though. Like, none of these mean anything. If we level up again, we have the charisma check. That's about it, really. But we'd have to put a point into charisma now. These are all garbage. You know what? I kind of, like, here's the thing. I think re-rolling would be a mistake, but we have Akamanto, so screw it. Let's re-roll anyways. That's not much better. That's actually, like, significantly worse, to be honest with you. I mean, we already have the best perks, so this doesn't really matter. Let's just take reason and be on with it. But yeah, no, I just, like, I can't get that movie out of my head. Like, it's just, it's crazy, right? Like, it's absolutely... It's wild, you know? to just think about what I watched. It really is just it's like, here's the thing. I'm not looking for, you know, nuance or anything like that. And I'm not even faulting the movie, right? Like, the movie was entertaining. I had a great time. But I'm so confused because, like, the characters, they were so bizarre in their actions. Like, you have, like, in the dramatic and thrilling sequence, I said that in a rather sarcastic manner, I do apologize. It was a serious scene where the mother is going to the prison to confront her daughter, saying, you know, your dad's in the hospital. Which now I'm thinking about saying it like that. Literally just reminds me of, like, the Persona 4 comic dub where it's like, your mom's in the hospital. Oh, I hate my dad. But anyways, you know, it's like she's going to the prison to basically tell her daughter that the dad's in the hospital, and the girl, you know, she chooses violence, right? Like, the moment she sees the mom in, like, the visiting room, she's just like, I know you killed my boyfriend, and I hired a guy to find... Well, she doesn't say she hired a guy to find out. She says, I know you killed my boyfriend, and then she's like... And then the stalker mom is like, yeah, so anyways, your dad's in the hospital, and he might die. He was shot by this crazy private investigator guy. Why would he even be in our house? And then the girl's like, oh my god, Mom, I'm so sorry. I know you didn't kill my boyfriend. I was just mad. And it's like, yeah. It's a wild one. It do be. This is a dexterity check. This is a perception check, right? Yeah. It's bad if we need to pay attention here because I don't want to die. This video is already gonna take like 1,000,000 years to upload, so I do apologize for that. The video is gonna be late. That's non-negotiable at this point. Do we just yeet? Like, I mean, we can do 16 damage. That's pretty good. You know, that's pretty good. But that's not good enough. We're gonna have to heal. Like, we're gonna have to. Okay, we have to throw something. So we get to throw the hunting rifle, and then we'll just do 16 damage casually. Just 100% chance. You love to see it. Okay, so we need to heal. That is what we need to do. So cursed signs, who cares? Holes, literally, who cares? I don't, like, we have Daddy's Girl, it does not matter at all. Akamanto's gonna be doing 3 damage because of Kana. What was our second mystery again? It doesn't matter. So Akamanto's gonna be doing 3 damage because of Kana. We are gonna be able to attack twice with a brace. Yeah, we're good. We have a bullet even. We could rest, like, maybe one more time, but we can also just forget Mind Drain, so... You know, as long as we don't get yeeted by, like, you know, random stamina check or whatever, you know, we should be fine. Now, admittedly, that is what we call a stamina check. So what we'll probably do is we'll probably use flesh regrowth once and then just forget it. Right? Like, we'll go ahead and use it once, which admittedly we get punished because of cursed signs. So it's not that much of a, like, okay, first of all, even doing the tactic that we do with flesh regrowth, where you get +2 stamina, +1 reason, that's still busted, okay? So that's still, like, just be clear, that's still completely busted, but we don't even have to use the Dust of Seeing. Alright, like, I want to be clear on that. We don't have to use the Dust of Seeing. That's how ridiculous this is. So, can we just throw it? No, we can't throw it. If we throw the compass, that's gonna do 1 damage, so it's not gonna... No, I'm not gonna use a 3-2 flame. We'll just brace for impact again. It doesn't really matter. That's dodge. Don't dodge and then Akamanto random... Oh my god. Don't dodge and then Akamanto randomly decides to do the, like, the -5 attack. That would be bad. That would be, as we would say in the business, really bad. Really dangerous, you know? as far as this is concerned, who cares? We're not passing the checks either way, so you know, we'll just go for, well, stamina probably, so that it's balanced, and then we'll take a little trip down to the lighthouse. We don't have water, so we'll just take a little trip down to the ye old lighthouse and see how much damage we're gonna take. So we're gonna take -3, -3. Second mystery, light source, so we're actually taking -3, -6. So do keep that in mind. So we have to rest once when we go in here, and then we're good. Just double checking. Second mystery, plus 5% doom, -3 reason, -3 stamina. Takashi, -3 reason. Okay. So as long as we just click this, we're good. And we won't even have to use the ye old... It was botany, right? I don't even think I clicked on that. I think the hitbox is a little bit bigger than it probably should be. But yeah, so anyways, we're gonna it's gonna get a little scary. We're gonna get a little sketchy. But I mean, the thing is, when you've got good healing and a level up and plenty of doom, we didn't even need the Akamanto mask. It's a shame we won't be in desperation range for this lad right here. But what we can do is this. So yeah, that's a run. That's a wrap. This is the longest video that we've done. Oh my god, it's 51 minutes! No! Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna render this at a lower bit rate, so it might look bad, and I do apologize for that, but the thing is, you have to understand, 30-minute video takes 15 hours, or I should say, 3 GB video takes 12 to 15 hours to upload. Now, I like to upload these videos every day. And, you know, I can also, like, now, listen, these videos might disprove this claim, but I am capable of doing basic math, and I can tell you that 12 plus 12 is 24, and, you know, if this video was, you know, because this video, if I rendered it with the settings that I normally did, this would be about, like, 6 gigs. 6 to 8 gigs. So I can tell you that, that 12 plus 12 is 24, 15 plus 15 is 30. So that's gonna take a little bit too long, which is a shame. So the video might look a little bit weird. And if you notice that, you're not crazy. So for this particular episode, here's the thing. If the video looks bad normally, that's because YouTube made a mistake. If this video looks bad, you probably won't notice the difference because this is an MS Paint pixel art game. You might notice the difference when it transitions between scenes, but for the art, you probably won't notice anything. And so if it looks bad, it's still most likely YouTube's fault. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye. I need to get this video uploading now, so stay safe out there. Goodbye.